Welcome back. I know what you must be thinking by now is, okay, enough talking, show me how to meditate. Give me the techniques, right? And one of my objectives in this whole course was, please pay more attention to the why rather than the how. Because once the why is there, once you understand the importance and you know in your heart, you know in your mind, and the how will come. And the chances are you already know what the how is. When I first started designing this course, I was really frustrated because it's not about telling people what to do, it's about telling people what not to do. And I came across this little audio podcast by Alan Watts, which I highly recommend you guys listen to. And there's a part in there, people come to him and they go, he's a master of Zen, and they ask him, oh, sir, we have a great way for you to share your book and translate it in 10 different languages. And I could hear audio, and I could, in my screen of mine, I could visually see him kind of dropping his head and going, that won't be necessary. And they're like, what? It's important that people, you wrote this book about Zen, and it's important that we translate different languages. He said, no, because the sound of rain needs no translation. And that's what, everything kind of clicked in me, which I understood why. Because I thought about all these reasons why I shouldn't be. Who am I to do a meditation, necessarily course? But that kind of brought everything together for me. Like, you know what? What I'm going to do with this course is wake something in you, every one of you. You already know. We just have to get it out, right? So I'm going to introduce you to another concept, which is, I do this with some of my adult students, especially when they start their black belt candidacy. I think it's really important. And it starts like this. I want you to take yourself and rate yourself on 4 different levels, from 1 to 10. So being, like, here's 1, here's to 10. I want you to rate yourself physically, which means 1 being the lowest, worst shape you ever been, to 10 being the best shape you ever want to be. Then rate yourself mentally. Mentally means how much time do you spend learning new things. Remember, mental growth comes by learning things you don't know, and sometimes you don't even like. Like, you understand that it takes no discipline to do what you love to do, right? It takes discipline to do something that's good for you, but you don't necessarily like or enjoy. I know it's not kind of a weird concept. The next one is emotional. What is your relationship with your loved ones? Here's a trick. Based on their feedback, not yours, right? From 1 to 10. And spiritual means what's the relationship you have with the Creator? You can call it God or whatever you want to choose to call it. But what's from 1 to 10 when you rate yourself, right? So ultimate goal is to have a 10 by 10 square, right? Now, this is the physical, this is the mental, this is emotional, and this is spiritual. Why? Because I think the physical, mental is what keeps this house all together, right? So our physical being is very important, and our mental ability to learn is very important. The foundation of the house is built on emotional, right? Which if you don't have this with yourself first and other people, none of this is going to matter. And most people, in my opinion, have no roof over their house, which means there is no relationship, okay, between me and God. And spiritual, now you can call it through a religion, you can call it through however you want, but it's really important that we keep this, and this is what we call, by the way, peace of mind. And it's kind of an amazing thing, because if I'm ever messed up here, the result will show here. So if I'm messed up emotionally, I get physical things that will come out of it, right? If I'm messed up here, this will have effect here. Think about that a little bit, right? Now, we're going to do I'm sure not you, but a typical man who from 1 to 10, they think they're 9, but I'm just going to give it a 4. Then mentally, they're probably, oh yeah, I'll do this, they're probably like a 1, right? Then emotionally, They think they're 10, but when you ask their loved one, there's probably a 2. And spiritually, they have none. So that's what their square kind of looks like, right? So it's not a well-balanced. So make sure you understand this is not a matter of right or wrong, but our goal is to have a 1 by 1 by 1 by 1, or a 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, or a 10 by 10 by 10. It doesn't matter. But if we're off, things will start happening in our life. So we want to kind of take inventory. I do this on Sunday nights. I take an inventory and I go, let's see where I am on these 4 sides. What actions did I take, or actions do I want to take to make sure I keep the kind of the squares, kind of together, right? And again, this is a huge thing is in the art of meditation. Because by meditating, you're working on this part. You're getting ready for this one so you can accept more. People will love you more and they get attracted to you. You're open to other people, to listen and to share with them. And you're physically in a much better shape because you won't have as much pain that's usually caused by emotional reasons. So think about this, and I'll challenge you to make your own square.